he will tell you what's coming down the pipeline. With Swift Enterprises, John, welcome.
Great, thank you, Erik. Well, it's great to be back with you guys here again for another day of flying. It's kind of fun. The aircraft you just watched take off, we're going to be explaining to you here a little bit. It's an Embry-Riddle University Piper Seminole, experimental Piper Seminole aircraft, and we'll tell you what makes that airplane here experimental. Just a little bit on Embry-Riddle here. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is the world's leader in aviation and aerospace education. Students attracted to Embry-Riddle because of its passion for flight, the knowledge and expertise to push the limits of aviation, to do it right and to do it well. Embry-Riddle has been exploring new horizons since December 17, 1925. It's just 22 years after the Wright brothers' historic flight at Kitty Hawk. More about Embry-Riddle. They educate more than 34,000 students at campuses in Daytona Beach, Florida here, Prescott, Arizona, and through its worldwide campuses at over 170 locations around the globe and online. The professional pilot program is the nation's largest, and its precision flight teams are among the nation's best. Major airlines hire more graduates from Embry-Riddle than any other college aviation program. Its military ROTC programs produce more commissioned officers and pilots than any other institution, of course except for the military academies. It's the largest supplier of air traffic controllers also with bachelor degrees to the FAA. Today, Embry-Riddle is pushing back the limits again with its plan to phase in a lead-free renewable fuel in its fleet of 95 aircraft. Like the aircraft you saw here today, when certification and testing is complete, the university will be the first and largest college program to fly on an all-green fleet. As you look high and to the left, the Seminole flying over is powered by SwiftFuel. Embry-Riddle is proud to demonstrate its green fleet commitment with its Piper Seminole, powered by renewable fuel, again made by SwiftFuel. Embry-Riddle chose to partner with Swift because of the company's non-leaded fuel that has passed the FAA detonation test and gets more miles per gallon than the current aviation 100 fuel. We'll talk a little bit more about the fuel, but as you see the airplane, realize that the Seminole is piloted today by Erik Lindbergh, grandson of aviation pioneer Charles Lindbergh, who flew non-stop solo across the Atlantic from Long Island to Paris in 1927. At the time, Embry-Riddle was only 2 years old, but Lindbergh went on to become one of our nation's leading environmentalists. So he's happy to be working in partnership with the program. And it's only fitting that the grandson of a pioneer aviator and environmentalist is flying this plane today and pioneering the use of a clean, renewable fuel to pilot us into the next century of aviation.
John, could you give me, you said this was a biofuel. What exactly does that mean?
Well, the fact that we're able to synthesize hydrocarbons, so it's a synthetic hydrocarbon fuel, so it doesn't have ethanol in it, or it's not made from a petroleum stock, it doesn't have toluene or oxygenates, any of the other problems that you usually find in biofuels.
But where do you get the fuel from?
We get it from a production process which we've patented. It allows us to take the sugars from a crop, convert that into synthetic hydrocarbons. So instead of taking a ball of hydrocarbons that we know is crude oil, we actually build that up rather than pull them out of crude oil.
Okay, so I understand you get this from sugar cane, sugar beets, corn?
Yeah, we can use a variety of feedstocks, and because we're always using the same process, we always end up with the same product at the end. It's just the feedstock we use to get there is not a single source like some of the other biofuels.
So there's a complete consistency in this new fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you can look up at the top left, the Seminole flying over. We're doing some great testing with this aircraft. On the left engine is SwiftFuel. Again, there were no modifications. in the airframe itself. So left side is SwiftFuel, and the right engine is powered off of 100 low lead, so we can collect data at the same conditions.
Well, having collected that data, how does it compare to 100 low lead as far as gallons per hour, range, everything like that?
Well, we're noticing an increase in range. It's a higher energy dense fuel. So you get about 8 to 15% more range, or miles per gallon, if you will, off the same, gallons of fuel. You go about 8 to 15% farther. And I'll turn it over here. I have Pat Anderson, who's leading the charge here at Embry-Riddle with his staff, and I'll let him tell you what they found so far while flying the fuel.
Hi there, I'm Pat Anderson. I'm the director of the Flight Research Center at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University's College of Engineering, and we're really proud to be working with SwiftFuels on our Green Fleet project. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University being the largest university dedicated solely to aviation and aerospace engineering, really wants to be friends with the Earth and help clean up our environment. And to that end, one of the things that's really important to us is removing the lead from the fuel, and that's one of the things Swift does. Another thing that we're really impressed with is the renewable aspects of the SwiftFuel. So we started in on this project in about August of last year, and it's moved very quickly so far. We've moved that particular Seminole to experimental category about 4 weeks ago. So this has gone pretty quick. We've already got about 35 hours of flying time on that particular airplane. Like John said, there's no modifications to the baseline airframe, just putting the fuel in and monitoring what's going on. So far, we haven't seen any major differences between 100 low lead, so I'd say the program's going actually better than expected. This is the kind of stuff we're used to working with at the Flight Research Center at Embry-Riddle. And if your son or daughter is interested in coming to school and working on green aviation projects, that's one of the things that the College of Aviation does at Embry-Riddle. And going overhead one more time is the Seminole with Erik Lindbergh and one of our flight test pilots, Miguel Ponce, better known as Ponce.
One thing I'd like to mention here, Pat, involved in the Green Fleet program, outside of Swift Enterprises and Embry-Riddle, we partnered with some industry partners. This is really necessary to bring this project to the forefront for the replacement of 100 low lead. In partnership, we have Lycoming Engines, as well as Cessna Aircraft, and the AvFuel Corporation, the nation's largest independent distributor.
Yeah, we really couldn't do it without those partners. I think this is really the right time to get moving on this, and that's indicated by the strong partnership that's been formed by all of these companies.
Absolutely. We're always looking for more industry partners because we really need to not be in separate camps. We all want to continue flying without interruption, and that shouldn't be determined by the availability of tetraethyl lead.
So John, I know you said it before, but tell me a little bit about the gas, because that's the question we always get at the booth. Is this stuff petroleum?
No, we have no petroleum. We're making synthetic hydrocarbons out of a biomass process. It's made of 2 pure components. It's more stable than 100 low lead because it is a pure fuel. Again, no ethanol, no toluene.
So will this stuff absorb water, or does the water fall to the bottom like 100 low lead?
Now the water will separate out just like 100 low lead. It has that property like all hydrocarbon fuels do, so it doesn't absorb the water.
So you're going to get better than the POH specifications on range and endurance if you run this fuel?
Yeah, it's been proven that you get about 8 to 15% better range by burning the SwiftFuel, again, with no changes to jetting or carburation whatsoever. The fuel obviously doesn't have alcohol in it, so it doesn't have any of the freezing issues that typical biofuels have. It separates the water out, so it freezes at a much lower temperature than does 100 low lead. And one final time, folks, you'll notice the Seminole's the second airplane to the left on final approach for the runway. We appreciate your attention, and like I said, we're doing this for all pilots and aircraft owners. If you'd like to come see this airplane when it's done flying today or anytime this week, we're located in booth space MD35. It's in between the Cirrus display from the manufacturers and the Warbirds. So as you're walking between manufacturers and Warbirds, you can't miss us. Look for the fuel truck, for the Seminole. Stop by and talk to us, to Eric, the folks from Embry-Riddle. We'll be happy to talk to you and tell you more.
Like about this one. You don't have to drill a hole to get it.